Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sascha Fahrbach. Central Europe faces a complex energy and political crisis as Hungary and Slovakia suspend oil and electricity exports to Ukraine, citing pipeline disruptions and national security concerns. The Slovak opposition has filed a criminal complaint against Prime Minister Robert Fico, accusing him of treason over emergency electricity suspensions. And Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's recent open letter to President Zelensky frames Ukraine as threatening Hungarian energy security. To discuss the latest, we're now joined by Yuriy Matusiak, political scientist, Slovak Academy of Sciences. Good to have you on TVP World. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
I want to begin with this open letter. This was released on Prime Minister Orbán's social media X account, and quite intense wording there, very much criticizing President Zelensky. What is your takeaway from this open letter, and what kind of impact is it going to have politically?
So we must take also into account that Hungary is on the eve of national elections, and prospects of Viktor Orbán do not look very good. So this is also a very important moment. And now it seems Orbán is not able to supply Hungary with an oil, although the situation is not so dramatic. But Orbán as general is seeking for enemies, and especially on the eve of elections. So this is the main reason. Other reason is, of course, that really Hungary has tremendous problems with the oil supply. The pipeline from Croatia, from Omišalj to Hungary and to Slovakia is available, but Croatia is rejecting the transportation of Russia's oil. So this makes new problems. However, this is not such a big problem as it looks like. I think this dramatization of the situation is purposeful, mostly due to the mobilization of domestic voters, both in Hungary and in Slovakia. Robert Fico declared his, what can I say, understanding or support to the letter. However, until now he didn't state openly if Slovakia will join Hungarian veto regarding the loan to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. I just want to also come back to this letter and just go and just look at it briefly. I see at least 2 or 3 mentions of Brussels, and very much in this he's saying, very much accusing the Hungarians, or rather the Ukrainians, of being anti-Hungarian. There's one line in particular: your actions are against Hungary's interests and endanger the secure and affordable energy supply of Hungarian families. I mean, he's trying to do this very publicly. How much of an impact do you think this is going to really have on his electorate in Hungary, any of those who are still undecided? How much of those words going to carry any weight on actually convincing voters to actually pass this message on?
So we will see in a few weeks this impact of this letter. So Orbán is seeking for any opportunity now, because really his prospects, according even the public opinion polls conducted for Fidesz, so internal surveys, they show that his perspective of electoral victory is really very questionable. On the other hand, however, of course, there is perception of threat both from Brussels and from Ukraine can work and can mobilize some parts of some segments of electorate. One, I would like also to stress that Fico is in similar situation. Although elections will take place only next year, but Smer and his party led by Robert Fico its electoral support is declining, and voters are moving to the more far right parties like Republika and other, and so also the next electoral victory of Smer is questionable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and let's talk about Slovakia. You mentioned it there. I want to get your take also on what the opposition in Slovakia is doing right now with this particular planned criminal complaint against Fico. I mean, in terms of this stopping of the electricity to Ukraine, what kind of a precedent does it? How successful this is going to be ultimately? What are the ripple effects of that going to be ultimately?
You could see on the anniversary of the beginning of Russian open full-scale invasion to Ukraine, several thousand people participated in the protests. Since the beginning of Russian destruction of Ukraine energy facilities, civil energy facilities, the support to Ukraine moderately grew. Of course, such opposition is stressing that such decision of Robert Fico to cut the emergency supplies to Ukraine can affect mostly Ukrainian civilian people suffering already by cold by the Russian bombing taking place for a few months. So I think it doesn't play in favor of Robert Fico, and therefore also Robert Fico wants to show how patriotic he is. Also, another issue is that Fico is sharply criticized for being silent, for not publishing the information that Russian oil is now more imported to Slovakia because of the destruction of pipeline. He didn't publish this information for 2 weeks. He kept it in secret, so this is perceived as a threatening of the state security.
Mm-hmm. Also, I want to come back to this pipeline, this Druzhba, so-called friendship pipeline, and that suspension. I mean, this is very much being cited as a security issue. The Hungarians in particular have said that this is something that is going to affect their supplies. With also, I think you talked about at the beginning, with Croatia's position saying that they're able to support an alternative supplies. How much merit does that argument have that Hungarians and the Slovakians cannot find other alternatives?
So Slovakia and Hungary gained an exception from European Union, from the European Commission regarding the import of Russia's oil, also because of the situation of oil refineries and their extreme dependence from Russian oil. However, of course, MOL company, the owner of oil refineries both in Hungary and in Slovakia is working on the diversification. According to them, this process of construction of building of capacities to process the non-Russian oil will be finished next year. On the other hand, Fico always complains that Croatia puts very non-favorable conditions for the support for the transit of oil from Omišalj to Central Europe. That's true, and on the other hand, the position of Croatia is also based not only on the support of common European position, but also on the long-standing pending dispute with Hungarian company MOL, as Hungarian company as MOL tried to privatize Croatian refineries, and former Croatian Prime Minister Ivo Sanader was even sentenced for corruption in these issues.
Mm-hmm. All right, so just really briefly, one sentence on how you see this crisis moving forward in the next sort of few weeks. Where are we going to be looking at in this region with the pipeline disruptions, with what we're hearing with electricity supply in the region?
So now it seems both Slovakia and Hungary are already finding some new sources, some new partners. Of course, it will have an effect on the prices of oil. However, the situation in both countries is not so critical as it is described by Slovak and Hungarian politicians, also Ukraine, and Brussels declared their willingness to finish the reconstruction of the destroyed facilities of Friendship Pipeline.
All right, so thanks for giving us the latest there. Really appreciate it on all that's happening in the region. Our guest here, Juraj Marušiak from the Slovak Academy of Sciences. Thank you so much.
Goodbye. Thank you.
And thank you for watching, but stay right here on TVP World for more news and commentary. Goodbye.